Hello! I got a surprise last week, a very pleasant surprise. Some of you may be aware I was kind of excited on Twitter last week. I got an email from a chap called Tony from GearBest. Now you might have heard of them. They are a distributor of Chinese tech toys, I suppose you could call them. High-tech gadgetry and gizmos and a lot of gaming related stuff. The GPD being one of those. I looked over there then because I've got one sitting over there. You'll have seen me review it a couple of times. Someone else saw that, and that was Tony. He liked my GPD videos, and he asked me would I like to collaborate, would I like to review any of their other products. And I said absolutely, I would like to very much. Yes please, I would love to review the GPD WIN. So Tony duly sent me one, just like that, which is here. Now this arrived yesterday, so I have not yet extensively tested it. I have set it up, got it all up and running and installed a couple of things. So what I can't do yet is give you a full in-depth review. But what I can do is do an unboxing and give you an overview of what this is, because not everyone has heard of these. I spoke about it on Twitter yesterday and a couple of people came back and were like, GPD WIN, what's that? Well, I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to do this unboxing and an overview, and then later in, it's probably going to get to the weekend, I will upload a full comprehensive review showing everything I've managed to do in that amount of time, and then there may or may not be a third video if I can get, it is going to depend what I can get running. I like to play with these things, as you know, and see how far I can push them. So if I'm able to push it and get some really impressive stuff running, I'll do a third video as well. But you know, that kind of thing takes a bit more time. But anyway, this is what I've got to show you today. Overview, couple of things I've got running on it, and just what it's like, really, what it is and what it's like. Right, going to turn the camera around, so bear with me. Okay, so this is how it arrived. Well, it's not actually, it was wrapped, but when I'd unwrapped it, this is how it arrived. This is not strictly a first time unboxing, because I've had it out and had a little play with it, but it is it's me taking it all out of the box, so you can see what it looks like. It is a very nice box, it's got to be said. GPD do nice boxes, and while you're not playing with the box, unless you're a 3-year-old, I like nice boxes. I will show you everything that's in it. That is just a piece of tape I have put over my Windows key, because I don't know what someone else could do if they got hold of that, but I'm just not going to show it to you just in case. That is the unit itself. I'll show you in a minute. Screen protector, which I haven't put on yet, and then we have more stuff here. This, I love the boxes, just that matte black with stylish. I mean, is that Apple influenced? I don't know, but it's nice. And let's see if I can get this out. Oh, I did it that time. This is second edit. I couldn't get this out the first time because I'm really good at taking things out of boxes. This is instructions. You've got this one, which, well, I can't really read much of that, but it doesn't matter. It shows you what buttons are on the thing. It's nice to have it. You probably won't read it, you probably won't need it, but it's there if you want it. Then we have the operating instruction manual, and there is a lot of detail here. It covers a lot of things, some of which you might need to know, some of which you won't need to know but you might find useful. I will go into more detail about certain aspects of this in my second video. I won't do it now because I need more time to really get to know the thing. But this is, it's good that it's there. Now, here, USB lead and earbuds. I haven't tried the earbuds, but they're there. USB lead, which is for power. I assume you can send data through it as well. I haven't tried. It's a new type of USB that I'm not actually familiar with. I don't know what it's called. It's small, and it doesn't matter which way you plug it in. It can go in either way, which is interesting. Let's get that out of the way. And then we have the power supply, which is I think this is a US power supply because it says US on the box just here. I don't know if they do a UK version. What I do know is it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. A simple travel adapter that you can pick up for a couple of, you can buy them in Poundland. Because this is, what does it say? 110 or 240 volts. So it will handle UK power supplies. You just need a travel adapter to give it the three-pronged thing. And it works. I know this because I've been using it. So yeah, if you get something like that, if you buy one of these, don't be alarmed if you get this. It's fine. It will work. Now, let me tidy up here, edit and stuff, and I'll show you the thing itself. Okay, are you ready? Let's unveil this thing. What's that then? It initially you look at that and you think that's a GPXD. Well, no, because that's a GPD XD. The size is very, very similar, and it's a similar quality of plastic, very similar. Slightly more metallic colour to it, which I like. It's a little bit deeper. It's a bit heavier, I think. There's not much in it actually. It's got a bit of weight to it. But what is it? That's the question. It's a PC, really. It is a handheld PC with gaming controls built in. Very, very much like the gaming controls on the GPD XD. You've got the analog sticks. They're a bit further in. They're positioned different than they are on the XD, as you can see. But the feel of them is very similar. It feels like they've used pretty much the same hardware. These little sticks, I really like these little sticks. They've got a really nice fluid motion to them. You've got a proper keyboard. I say proper keyboard as in not a touch screen keyboard. Let me bring that up. I don't know how close this will go. They're clicky. Can you hear that? Probably not. They're nice. How are they in operation in the real world? You're not going to go into a cafe like some trendy person with their laptop and bang out your latest novel whilst allowing everyone to watch. That's not going to happen. What they're good for is typing in your passwords and things like that. They're tactile, and more importantly, they're useful for if you're emulating something like the Amiga or the Spectrum. I've played emulated games on the on the XD and on other things where there's not been a keyboard connected and you want a keyboard because certain emulators and games need you know, Z and X to steer or something, and you don't have that on certain systems. Here you've got a keyboard, you've got all the controls you would have on an old computer that you happen to be emulating, so it's very useful for that. It's a little bit cramped, you know, you're not going to write your novel on it, but it's good for gaming, and that is the whole point of this thing. Anyway, what else? Because there are things underneath. This is interesting. You have a fan control, or a fan speed control, off, medium and fast, and depending on what you're doing you will want to adjust that. If you are doing something that is power intensive, playing a modern game, you will want to turn it all the way up because it gets very warm, and if it gets too hot, performance will suffer. I've not had this happen because I turn the fan up when I'm gaming, but just from what I understand, it will throttle the CPU if it starts getting hot, and it will slow down. So turn the fan up. That of course hits the battery, so it's always a compromise. It's interesting that it doesn't do it automatically, but it's not a big deal. If you're gaming, turn the fan up. If you're sitting browsing the internet, leave it off or put it on medium. Here you've got this control, which when it's set in the middle, I should turn it on and show you actually, but I'll tell you first, and then when it's set in the middle, this here acts as a mouse. I'm going to turn it on actually. Let me edit and I'll show you. Okay, here it is up and running. So yes, what I was going to show you is the joysticks control the mouse, or rather the right joystick controls the mouse pointer, the left joystick controls, it works like a scroll wheel. If you've got a browser open you can scroll it up and down with that, and it actually works really well. It's very intuitive once you've got used to it. Left and right mouse buttons are controlled by L1 and R1, which works really well if you're holding it as a gaming pad. Not so well if you've got it on the desk and are trying to use it as a mini laptop, but that's not what it's for. So yeah, you kind of adapt, you learn how it works best. What other things have we got on here that I can show you? I can't see, I've got my wrong glasses on. Yep, power button, which is recessed. You're not going to press that by accident. A Microsoft button, I have to investigate what that does because I'm not entirely sure yet. Volume's up and down. L3 and R3, there's a thing. You've got your sticks, just like on the GPD XD, and your typical gaming joypad, Xbox, PS2, 3, 4, whatever. Face buttons there, which have got your Xbox letters, but also your X, square, triangle and circle, which you would get on your PlayStation, because sometimes you're playing a PlayStation emulated game and it says press the square button and you might be like, I don't know which one that is. Well, it tells you on the button, which is good. Select and start, as you would get on a normal joypad, and all your usual PC type keys and buttons and things. Then we have stuff. Actually, wait, before I turn it over, I was going to tell you about this, wasn't I? In the middle, it controls that like a mouse. I don't know what it's doing. It's sitting there thinking about something at the moment. Yeah, with it set in the middle, it controls like a mouse. You can switch it over to the right, left, the other right, which they treat the input as a different thing. I think this one on the right is DirectX and on the left is something else. One of them is like modern kind of input and one of them is like old school kind of input. I don't know exactly what they are, but it kind of doesn't matter. Basically, if you're playing a game, if it doesn't work on one, switch it to the other and it'll work. Okay, now let's have a look on the back, because there's more stuff there. Right. trying to keep it on the screen. You've got your shoulder buttons. I have seen some videos where people complain about these being really wobbly. They are a little bit wobbly, but you know what? It doesn't actually bother me. There's a bit of movement in them, but they're not going to fall off, I don't think. They certainly haven't fallen off when I've been playing with it. You have got your USB input, that funny weird new USB where it doesn't matter which way in you plug it. You've got a mini HDMI, you've got a micro SD, you've got USB 3, you've got a headphone socket, and then your other shoulder buttons there, which, well, all of that I'm given to understand is more than you would find on the back of a MacBook. So it's pretty impressive. Specifications, I should probably have them up on the screen so I could tell you. Let me just edit. Here we go. Reading this off of the screen. Highlights. GPD WIN game console is the world's first 5.5-inch handheld PC gaming console based on Windows 10 system. Yep. It's Windows 10 64-bit. The CPU is an Intel Atom X7 Z8700. Yeah, 64-bit quad-core, 1.6 GHz up to 2.4 GHz. I don't know quite what that means. Is 1.6 GHz, it's like idling speed and then it ramps up if it needs to? I'm not sure. Intel HD graphics. Yeah, the graphics chip on this is integrated Intel chips. And you see, I don't know what to compare that with, but I'll show you something that gives you a clue initially. I'll show you more in my next video, and I'll push it and see what I can make it do. 5.5-inch capacitive touchscreen. That is a thing. It is, yeah, excuse me. Yeah, you can launch stuff from the touchscreen, which is great. I do end up leaving fingerprints all over the screen. 6,700 milliamp hour battery. I haven't yet had the opportunity to find out how long that's going to last. It does tell you, there is a little icon down there that shows you your battery, and it tells you how long it estimates it to last. And really that depends greatly on what you're doing with it. If you're just sitting browsing the interwebs, it says something like 10 hours. If you're playing a game, it can drop down to 2 hours, it says. So at some point soon I will find out. So yeah, this really is, it's just an overview to give a first impression, if you like. I will do a full and thorough review later. Probably I'm going to try and get it out at the weekend. It's going to depend. I'm waiting for a micro SD card to arrive because I want to try and run Grand Theft Auto 5. That is the thing that people are using as like, if it'll run this, it's pretty cool. I have seen some people run it and some not, so I want to see how easy is it to do that. But what that won't do is fit on the internal storage of this thing. This has 64 gigabytes built in, which I didn't say, and I should, yeah. It's also 4 gigabytes of RAM. So yeah, but you can stick a 128 gigabyte micro SD card in here. When mine arrives, I will install Grand Theft Auto 5 on it, among a whole load of other things. What's on here at the moment? This is what I want to show you now, because I have been playing with it. I've been trying not to totally fill the built-in storage on it. Okay, let's give a couple of things a go. Let's trying to, you can do it all by touchscreen, or you can do it with the emulated mouse. I haven't yet decided which I prefer. View. Radiant Silvergun, because, well, you kind of have to, don't you? This, oh look, there's me. I haven't tweaked this yet. This I installed just before I started recording this video, really, just to see how quickly does it run, how does it compare with the GPD XD version. I don't actually think it's fair to do a comparison yet, because I haven't tweaked it or optimized it or done anything with it, and I haven't worked out how yet. It's strange because it's the same emulator, or done by the, you know, it has the same name, but it's different. The layout is different. Figuring out all the options is different. So yeah, I'm not going to compare it with the GPD XD version yet, but it's nice to see that it works. It's playable. It's not optimized yet, but it's doable. I'm playing very, very badly because, as is the nature of whenever I record handheld videos, I have the thing is blue tacked down to my desk, which means I can't get at the shoulder buttons. But that is that. Yeah, it's getting a bit of slowdown on that scene, which is a pity. But that needs some tweaking. That is down to the emulator and no lack of power on the part of the system. I am fairly convinced. And why am I convinced of that? Well, I will show you. Okay, Half-Life 2 on a handheld. Which reminds me, I've got to thank Jurdy Tai. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Edinburgh Retro is his YouTube channel, if I remember correctly. Very nice chap who I met at Replay in Blackpool quite a few years ago. He sent me a executable thingamajig to play Half-Life 1 on the on Android on the GPD XD, and I've got to do a video of that sometime soon. But this is Half-Life 2, which is one of my very favourite games ever. And it plays on here, and it plays really well. I should try doing that with the touchscreen rather than using the mouse. Standing over the keyboard, I've got the camera here, and it's all fiddly and stuff. And the lighting here isn't good either. This isn't. I should be in the other room. I'm going to go into the other room and do this. Bear with me. Okay, here we are in the games room now. Just move that a little bit. Now, I have got this still set with that switch that I mentioned there in the middle. So it's mouse emulation, and interestingly, the D-pad responds as WASD, which is great, but the mouse control itself is slow. That's too slow. However, click it over to the, what does it do if you go left? Pauses for a moment, thinks about it, isn't doing anything. Click it over to the right. Much faster. That is emulating, I believe, an Xbox control pad, joypad thingy controller, and WASD is now emulated on the left stick. What does the D-pad do? D-pad does all of that, which is great. And L2, God, I'm going to struggle here because I'm not holding the thing. L2 does that. That's your fire button. So, let's just try and get out of here. Yay! Now there's a crouch button, and I can't remember what it is. Do I need it? Can't remember that either. Jump is A. Torch. What's crouch? I know there is one. L3, which is kind of out of the way on here, is down on the right. It's kind of an odd place to put it, where they didn't put them right next to the joysticks like they did on GPD XD, but I'm guessing there just wasn't the space to do it. So where am I going? It's That doesn't look like a good place to go. Oh, it's those. Yeah, let's have a gun. Struggling to. Yeah. I had a girlfriend once who looked like that. Oh dear. I'm going to get into some kind of gunfight here, and I'm not prepared. Hello. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to get heavily into the gameplay. Wow, this looks like... I know a place in Milton Keynes that looks like this. Bugger off with your shooting. I'm not in a position to defend myself. It is really, really, really playable when you're holding the thing. I'm not holding it, I've got it down on my desk. But it impresses the hell out of me. Okay. It plays Half-Life 2 better than the PS3 does. Graphically, in terms of the graphical detail, it's up there with it, but controllability and frame rate and all of that, it kicks its ass. It's great. It plays really well. Better than... Well, my PC in my study just plain can't run this. So, this might be a tiny little handheld PC, but it's got some oomph. Now, we'll find out more later on in the week. You know, can I get a proper modern game to run on this? I don't know yet, but we will find out. So that, I think, that's all I've got to say about it at the moment. This is really, it's a taster. It's me saying this exists. Here's a quick look, and there is going to be a proper, full, thorough review video coming up, probably at the weekend, early next week at the latest. It depends how easily I'm able to get things configured and set up and whatnot, because I want to show you everything I'm going to do with it, because one of the questions that people have asked is, who is this aimed at? What is the point of it? What kind of people will this appeal to? Well, the answer to that is people like me, and maybe people like you. And I want to show you what I will do with a thing like this. So, yeah, that will take a little bit of time to do. But for now, I think it's impressive. I will go into more detail later. So if you haven't subscribed and you want to see what I do with it later in the week, do subscribe. And yes, before I forget, and I mustn't forget, GearBest. Big thank you to GearBest who gave me this to review. There are links down there to the GearBest site and where you can buy this thing. I'm not in the room, I can't see what the price is, but that is down there in the information with the links. So yeah, if you want to buy one of these, go there, click those links. Is that shameful advertising? I don't care. I'm grateful to them, and they deserve their links. So there. All right, I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to go and play with this some more, because I'm fascinated and enjoying it. So thank you for watching.
Right, hit the subscribe button, or I'm getting naked on camera. Go on, do it. Right, you asked for it. Ah! You asked for it. Ha! Ha! Oh.